Bears win, but the defense shines. They probably should have had about 2 more touchdowns than they had. I don't know. The reffing was
the
pretty
the
awful.
one on Fuller was ridiculous when Eddie Jackson had the pick that he took back. That was just, I don't know, man. Fuller I thought looked like a great play. Kind of went around the receiver, got to the ball before he initiated contact. I don't know what more you're supposed to do when you're playing from behind it. It just looked
They're
like
making
he timed
defense
it
so much
perfectly.
tougher. They're making defense so much tougher because you're already restricted from what you can do, and some of the ones. It's
especially when it comes
to
the quarterback. When it comes to the quarterback, then you have the defenseless receivers and everything like that. And it's just, what can you do, really? You can't play aggressive in any capacity, really.
It just seemed like every time the Bears made a good play today, you just looked for the flag. You're like, oh, something bad happened.
Yeah.
Pretty unbelievable.
It wasn't just that game either. Watching the Minnesota Atlanta game, too, it just seemed like the flag was flying a lot in that game, too. I don't know why, but I don't know.
What I have to say about the game is I wouldn't say Nick Foles had the greatest game whenever he played well, but his leadership was there, is what I'm saying. He kept it. I'm over Matt Nagy. I'm over it. I don't get. It's like, why are you not running the ball at the end of the game? I don't know why you're giving. This is 2 weeks in a row where he's giving the other team a chance because he doesn't know how to manage the clock at the end of the game. Do not give the other team a chance with time on the clock. So much time on the clock.
No reason to leave them a timeout.
Yeah,
just
at
run
least
the ball.
Make them run the timeout. I mean, take the timeout. They had 2 yards, and Montgomery had been playing pretty well in that time. Just run the ball and hope for 2 yards.
You're that creative. You've got Cordero Patterson. You've got a guy like Darnell Mooney who's got a little bit of a big playability. Run some gadget play if you need to draw him off a little bit. If you're afraid to run up the middle because you don't have a bulldozing running back, then go trick them. Go a little off. At least run the ball, period. Don't risk an incomplete pass. The clock stops, and then you give him a timeout to march down the field. Thank God, the defense bailed him out again, but, he's got to figure this out, man. Like, this is
either give up the play calling.
You got a chance to make a run. I'm not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl this year.
Oh, but they're 5-1. If you start 5-1, you got a good chance.
You're starting to talk playoffs, and when you start talking playoffs, anything can happen at this point. So let's go.
I don't want to be in the playoffs, and it's freaking 3rd and 2, and we're up maybe 5 or 6 points, and you go for a pass because you're afraid of everything. It's like,
well, what happens when they don't have a timeout and you win and you blow 50 seconds?
It's like,
you could have ran off almost.
And then even in the first half, we used timeouts just awfully. Like, what? Yeah. Some of those timeouts is like, what is the offense doing? But 5-1, going to LA next week to play the Rams, who aren't looking that great right now against.
It's a winnable game.
Not a very good 49ers team. It's a very
There's no reason it's not out of the question for the Bears to come back 6-1.
I don't think they have a bye until the week after Thanksgiving. I think is when.
Yeah, I believe they play the Saints in the following week too. So tough schedule here coming up.
I'm excited, but I'm also you got to just. It's one of those things. We're 5-1. You just live in the moment.
Along.
Live in the moment.
Keep chugging along and keep relying on the defense if you have to. I don't care at this point. The offense has got to not turn the ball over, protect the ball, score when they need to. When they're inside the 50, they've got to get points on the board, whether it's a touchdown, a field goal, whatever. Cairo Santos hit a bomb today.
That's weird. That caught me off guard. Having a kicker is something I haven't had.
Having
a
kicker
while.
that can hit a 55-yarder, that's a big
But I was listening to the Red Line Radio guys do they do like a post show after.
To that yet.
And they were talking about so like, are we just expected to like think that our kicker's going to go out there and do that every single time? Like, is Santos?
Well, how do you bring Panero back now?
Like,
you know what I mean?
That's weird.
Yeah. Sure.
I love it though. I love it. But he also, I don't know. I have very big trust issues with the kickers for the Bears. It's just like Eddie Pinheiro. I think he's pretty much done for at least this season. He's still hurt.
He was on IR. He was on IR for the first 3 weeks. I don't
think he's ever hit a 55-yarder for the Bears. I think they've actually gone for it past 55 yards because they didn't trust him last year.
And frankly, even just hitting the one, to go up 10 in earlier today, that was just a big kick. You know what I mean? Like
it really comes down to it.
Big 37, 38 yarder just right down the chute. There was really no worry about it at all. You know,
Which is
it's
very
where it's
rare.
like with Cody Parkey,
Oh,
with some of the
don't
other
say
guys
his
they've
name
had.
on this
Panero
podcast.
even. It's fine, you know what I
know,
mean.
I'm
But
just
still,
kidding.
just some of these shit kickers that we've had, where it's like a 38 yarder isn't a gimme, for some of these guys that we've been bringing in.
Yeah.
So, and there I go. I'm saying we again. I'm buying in.
Hey, who
I'm
cares?
buying into the 5-1 Bears.
What else we
I'm
got right
buying
now?
it.
We don't have the Cubs on. The Bulls are not playing. We don't have hockey. We got the Bears right now. We are 5-1. We got a victory Monday. We're not apologizing. We're having fun.